what if we were not living in a real world? What if we were living in a computer? Now, have either of you seen the movie The Matrix?
I've heard of it. I don't remember if I've seen it, quite honestly.
I've never seen it.
Okay.
I've always wanted to, but I believe that's where your profile picture's from, right?
Yes, that is Keanu Reeves. He was the main character of the movie, yes.
Got it.
All right, so you got that part correct, so excellent. In this 2,000 years, humans create artificial intelligence.
You mean artificial intelligence?
Okay.
Okay, so artificial intelligence and humanity have a war because, that's what happens when there's a movie. And then computers need an energy supply, and they decide to take humans and use them as basically a battery.
In order to change a human being into this.
The batteries power them. It doesn't really work that well at first because the people just happen to die right away because their mind gets really bored with just sitting there being a, bump on a log, basically. So they create the Matrix, which is a simulation world. So it's basically New York in 1999.
The world as it was at the end of the 20th century.
That's supposedly the pinnacle of human existence. And then they entertain the human mind in this computer world. And then blah, 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 the movie, bunch of action stuff, and then it ends. Okay. And the rest of it's really not important. The important part is that people are living in a computer simulated world.
Yeah.
So they have their minds hijacked, literally, in the movie, into this computer, and the computer tells their eyes and their ears and their tongue what they're seeing, hearing, tasting, feeling.
If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
And it kind of makes sense because what you see and what you taste and what you hear are just electrical impulses interpreted by your brain. So realistically, a computer could actually mimic all those things and trick you into thinking you're seeing something that you're not actually seeing. You guys with me so far?
Yeah.
All right. Now, what I'm about to tell you is, what if we were not living in a real world? What if we were living in a computer? Not necessarily we're a real person with a big cable thing stuck into the back of our head, literally hijacked into a computer. But what if we were just on that computer's hard drive as digital data points and data and gigabits?
I think that idea is so interesting. I don't know if you're familiar with Elon Musk
Well, maybe we're in a simulation right now.
a ton, but I know he's quoted saying that he believes that we're in a simulation. He believes like we're 95%. He's 95% sure we're in a simulation, which I think is pretty hilarious.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I think it's a crazy idea that I guess I believe physicists have said that if we start, I believe they said like in what's it called, in quantum physics, if things as we break them down start to appear more like ones and zeros and binary,
Yes.
then we might know that we're in a simulation.
Yeah, that is something that some physicists have said, yeah. That is actually one of the points I was going to make.
I believe it's really interesting. Then again, like there's no proof,
Hey, I was getting there. I actually have some proof.
I'd love to hear it. But what do you believe about like the Great Filter? Do you know about that?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Like Fermi's paradox?
Nope.
Oh, well, we'll talk about that after. Go ahead. What proof do you have that we're in a simulation?
So do you guys know what the Mandela effect is?
Yeah, I do. Do you?
Yeah.
Blue Continue to my companion.
Okay, so I'll kind of go over Mandela. I don't really know much about him per se, but he was
Yeah, me neither.
some sort of government official in Africa, and he went to prison, and then apparently everybody thought that he had died in prison, but then years and years and years later, once he was released from prison, he died, and everybody was like, wait, that guy died in prison. What are they talking about on the news? He's dead. I saw the news thing years ago.
Yeah.
And that's basically where it gets the name from.
Yeah, like a lot of
But-
people believe, and like said that they saw Nelson Mandela die on the news years ago, and like they all claimed it. Like there was like groups of people who had all agreed that they
Yeah.
had seen that. And I think they say the same thing about how like when they talk about Star Wars, so many people state that like they heard Darth Vader say, "Luke, I am your father."
No, I am your father.
But he never says that. Like there's no recorded thing of him ever saying that. But so many people agree
Yeah.
saying he said that, right?
Right. And then there's like countless number of other ones. For example, do you guys think Jiffy peanut butter is a real thing?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Jiffy peanut butter. Is it Jiffy?
I believe so.
Nope. It is a GIF. GIF. No Y whatsoever.
Weird things. Weird
I'm
things.
blown away.
Yeah. Like yeah, there's just things that everyone like believe. I don't know. Some people believe it's like universes merging, but
Yeah, I've seen that theory out there.
I don't know.
But that's one where I guess the theory is that the computer that is in charge of us, something has changed in the file structure, and our memories don't get updated, but our surroundings do, apparently. So that's the argument there. But don't let me stop there. I got more evidence here. So we got a physics thing, I guess you could say. I'm not a scientist, so I'm not going to be able to explain it like a scientist. But basically, they got these electrons that they shoot at this photosensitive screen through like a copper plate.
Yeah, I think I know.
But that part's really not important.
And
But
then
usually
you can only detect it if you look at it. Like you can like the
yes,
yeah.
you know about it.
Yeah,
Absolutely, yes. So only when someone's looking at it or observing
it
it,
behaves.
it
hits a
happens.
certain spot, but if you don't look at it, it hits a probability, right? It'll go in two places at once.
Right.
I don't know. I've looked into that, and I've heard that that's been like very like misconstrued. How do you say it? Misconstrued? Like it was it just wasn't. I guess it was like the device that they use to detect it messes with it. It's not that our consciousness is detecting
okay.
it. It's not our consciousness is changing it, which is how a lot of people took it. It was the instrument used to detect it changes the effects on it.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what that's what I remember Neil deGrasse Tyson saying about it. He was very angry, and that's what I remember. He was very angry that people thought it was our consciousness changing the effects. That like when we do it with our eyes, that it behaves differently. He was saying that it was.
In all fairness, that does make a lot more sense.
Yeah, but I remember being blown away when I heard that as well.
My next thing is that so we got video games that are almost lifelike. Like as of right now, we got the VR headsets where you put one on and it's practically real life, right?
Yeah.
So if we've come that far since like let's say 40 years ago, we just had like Pong where it was two lines and one ball on a screen moving back and forth.
Yeah.
If we've moved that far in that amount of time, in 50 or 100 years, we could move that same amount of distance, and that distinguishable from reality is almost completely negligible at that point.
Yeah. Have you heard of like the singularity? It's kind of like artificial intelligence based idea. With the singularity when I guess I can't even remember exactly how to explain it, but because I'm no scientist either, but it talks about how computers, how they're just exponentially increasing
Right.
in power, and so there's like the exponential graph, it just kind of shoots off, and so it's like at some point like the computer they believe would surpass like our understanding or our abilities in any way, and so like where people are wondering like when that will happen. But also there's data showing that exponential graph of computer power is slowing and leveling off, that it's not doing that because we're not able to make computer chips as small anymore without the electrons like jumping from where they're supposed to be, I've heard. This is my terrible explanation. I'm no scientist.
No, it's actually a halfway decent explanation. I get exactly what you're saying.
And so yeah, I forgot there's a name for this,
Yeah.
but I forgot what it is.
Yeah, me too. I forgot what it was too. It's the name of the scientist who made the theory.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it starts with like an M, but I can't remember. Murphy's Law?
That's okay. Yeah, no. Is it? Maybe. That sounds right.
Maybe.
Or is Murphy's Law what can go wrong will go wrong?
Maybe that's probably it. The same thing, right? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. And then the other piece of evidence is, why does the universe have a speed limit? So nothing can travel faster than the speed of light. And it's theorized if something does travel, or something can't travel faster than the speed of light, because otherwise the simulation wouldn't be able to handle such speed.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah, it is kind of interesting.
also brings me to, I don't know, there's so many questions. What is gravity? Like we know where it comes from, but we don't understand why it is there.
That is true. We do not know why. We know its effects and we can measure it, but we do not know why. That is a fact.
It's interesting. I don't know. I guess I don't know. I don't know what to think.
Well, that's all the evidence that I had. By the sounds of it, you kind of think it's a little bit of a silly theory.
No, I don't.
Am I accurate with that? Is that your thoughts on it?
For me personally, I don't think it's extremely silly. I think it's plausible, and I think judging by computer simulation capabilities now, in 1,000 years, why would that not be possible? But I don't know.
Yeah, it's something that I think about every once in a while. I can't say I actually believe it, but I think, hey, maybe that's possible. Who knows?
Yeah, I think about it too.
That's awesome.
Huh. Well, I can tell you that I've learned a lot in the past 20 minutes from just listening to you both talk.
Awesome.
I'm obviously educated in the wrong field for that conversation.
That's quite all right. I'm glad I was able to rub off some of my fringe science knowledge.
Oh, that was great. That was great.